gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Hold it, you're not that pretty. I'm a bad man. Wait. I took up the wall.
I bear witness, there's only one God, Allah, and Muhammad is his final messenger. That's what I said, Larry, on the bungle fight. Thanking you.
They call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans, anybody can get it.
How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to In the Corner with AKHi, Blow by Blow, episode 3. Tonight, we're going to talk about Lomachenko versus Lopez. It was a hell of a card all around the board. Brooklyn in the house. We obviously had a lot of wins tonight coming from Brooklyn, Berlinga, Lopez, so on and so forth. So, like I said, Brooklyn winning tonight. You know, so with that being said, let's get it started.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
So go ahead. The number is in the description box if you want to hold your position to call in. Shout out to all of my AKHis that's still up this late. Tonight we have the late night edition. Obviously, it was a great card all around the board. Berlinga won by KO like he always does. And then Teo, I mean, he don't call it the takeover for nothing. So there's a lot to talk about. Hopefully, Lomachenko fans in the house, hopefully they will call in because you guys stay missing. And you are missing to this day. Where you guys at?
To this day. To this day. Bomb Squad!
I know it's very devastating for old media, including all of the decafs. They don't call in to give their prediction, and they don't want to call in after the night is over with. So with that being stated, let's go ahead and cook when it comes to Lomachenko versus Lopez. It was obvious. Hold on, give me a second. Let me go ahead and make sure the phone lines are open. Yeah, the phone lines are open, so you guys more than welcome to call in. So starting off for Lopez, you know, Lomachenko, he was very hesitant. Obviously, he stated that he was going to humble Teo, but the way he was fighting, he showed that he had a lot of respect for Teo game. I mean, from the start of the bell, from round 1, Lomachenko didn't let his hands go. Now, he usually studied his opponents for like a round or 2, but it don't take more than 2 rounds. But in the first round, he didn't let his hands go at all. And credit to Teo, because I knew from the jump that the first round was going to tell the whole story of the night. Teo, he had a lot of confidence. Lomachenko, on the other hand, he was pretty hesitant. Like I told you guys on my post-fight video, check it out. I'm going to leave it in the description box. Lomachenko, when he came in, he didn't have that same confidence. And usually he gets fighters to react to his feints. He gets a lot of fighters to bite in on feints, which afterwards he will set him up, you know, kind of like he did, for example, Gary Russell. Gary Russell was biting in on a lot of feints that Lomachenko was throwing. But with Teo, he stayed very composed. All them feints didn't bother him. He had a great game plan. Every time he felt like Lomachenko was going to come forward, he made a quick step back, which eliminated Lomachenko from establishing any offense as far as his footwork, so on and so forth. So Lopez had a great game plan coming in tonight. So from round one, like I said before, he was filling out Lopez. However, Lopez, he came out blazing. He went to the body. He wasted no time in order to slow Lomachenko footwork, and it paid off because, yeah, Tio is the unexperienced cat. Yeah, Tio didn't have a lot of experience under his belt, but he was investing to the body early. And even though I think he only went 12 rounds one time, it didn't show tonight because Lomachenko didn't make him work early on. And I believe the first 6th to 7th round, Lopez easily put them in the bag. Lopez was pretty much winning rounds without even trying. And that's not what you do when you fight a young buck. You want to let him know, hey, this is the big league, and you're going to have to work every single round in order to win a round. And I was shocked that Lomachenko was pretty much giving rounds away. And forget about giving rounds. He gave half of the fight from the jump. That's why I was shocking after the fight. He said he thought he won the fight. So we're going to talk about it. But how are you going to win the fight when you don't even let your hands go? So Lopez, on the other hand, he stayed composed. Like I said, he was not biting on any feints by Lomachenko, and he was feinting Lomachenko. He established the distance with the jab. Also, because of his power, that kept Lomachenko at bay. And like I said on my prediction, if Lomachenko is going to have any success, he must come forward. And if Lopez, if Lopez want to put Lomachenko in the corner, he's going to have to apply a lot of pressure because, see, Lomachenko is effective coming forward. That's his P's and Q's. We all know that. But on the back foot, he's not very effective. And we saw that tonight. You know what I'm saying? Lomachenko was very uncomfortable on his back foot as Lopez was charging forward. And I don't know if Lopez hurt him early on for him not to let his hands go. Like, he was throwing 4 or 5 punches or landing 4 or 5 punches early on. So obviously Lopez took the lead early on, and then later on, Lomachenko, he got comfortable. His father was telling him, "You're blowing it, son. You got to do more." And that's exactly what Lomachenko did. He came out later on blazing, and he won a lot of the later rounds. Now, I had the fight very close, where I think the championship rounds, Tio had to pull off a round or two, and that's exactly what he did. In the 12th round, he came out blazing, and he even hurt Lomachenko, which impressed the judges. The judges had Lopez winning by a huge margin because of the fact that Lomachenko was not letting his hands go. Like I said before, the man, he pretty much gave up half of the fight. He didn't start turning it up on Lopez till, like, I believe the 8th round, which was a huge mistake by Lomachenko that ended up costing him the fight. Now, we already know Floyd Mayweather came out and said that Lomachenko is not a better fighter than Terence Crawford, not in a million years. And we all saw evidence of that tonight. He don't have the whole package. He could box coming forward, he could fight, but he don't do well off the back foot. And Lopez, it's fair to say he exposed that element of his game. And I know Floyd Mayweather regretting the fact that he didn't let his fighter, Gervonta, fight Lomachenko on time. He let Tio get to Lomachenko before he did. And I told you guys that. I told you guys that Gervonta, this is the time to capitalize on Lomachenko. They overhyping him as pound for pound number 1. They saying he the best fighter after the post Floyd Mayweather era, which was a disrespect to Andre Ward, Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, and many more fighters in the game. And now Tio, because he took the risk, he gets all of the glory. So, I mean, Gervonta, he could still fight Lomachenko, but he not going to get that much credit like if he would have beat Lomachenko when old media was hyping him out to be the second coming of Roy Jones, the greatest fighter since Muhammad Ali. So I know old media is very devastated. As I talked about leading up to the fight, they were trying to paint this fight as the old versus the new when Lomachenko is in his prime. So we're going to talk about all of that tonight. So, like I said, as far as Lomachenko and Terence Crawford, I always had Terence Crawford over Lomachenko on the pound for pound list. I always had Crawford number one for the obvious reason. Crawford is always dominant, regardless of who he fights. I mean, they said he was avoiding Postal. He washed Postal. Every fighter he stepped in the ring with, he washed them. He moved up 3 weight divisions. He became undisputed before anybody else did, before Usyk and before anybody tried to get the undisputed status. So it was clear as day that ESPN favored Lomachenko because they erased his loss. And now good luck trying to erase his the loss with Teo. You could probably do it one time, but now there's 2 blemishes on his record. So that being stated, this is the passing of the torch. Teo, I told you guys, he the second coming of Prince Naseem Hamed. Everybody told me I was crazy, but remember, when Prince came to the game, he would do that, flip over the rope, dance into the ring. And, obviously Lopez doesn't do a flip over the rope, but at least he does a flip after the fight, And, Teo just have that confidence of Prince Naseem Hamed. Hamed was a unified champion at age 22. And if you look at Lopez today, he's unified at age 23. So that's not much of a difference. He's explosive. He's very entertaining. He's very confident. I mean, I won't forget. I didn't know that it was this much tension between Teo and Lomachenko, because we already know Teo was calling out Lomachenko from the jump. But I didn't know they were talking trash to each other to this extent till I saw the lead up for this fight. When Teo was trashing Lomachenko, calling him a diva, he's like, man, they be painting the narrative like he's a god. I mean, it's one thing to say he a king, but come on, man. Y'all got him as pound for pound number one. He the king in boxing right now when he haven't even proved it. Leading up to the Lopez fight, they were labeling him as the king before he even pulled off the victory. Yo, AKHi, I'm trying to call in. Yes, sir. I'm about to pick up the calls right now, so just give me a little bit of time. So appreciate the love and support, though. We definitely going to cook on it tonight. And the number is in the description box. So make sure you dial in the area code on top of the number, So with that being said, I remember the day Teo, right after he knocked out Comey, man, Teo was like, Lomachenko, get him out of the ring. I don't want him in the ring. Get him the F out of here. And Lomachenko heard all of that. He heard all that trash talk, and he stayed composed. And then, shockingly, Teo was like, man, bring that ass over here. And he grabbed him. Basically, man, he manhandled Lomachenko before and after the fight. Because, like I said, even during the face-off, he told, man, Lomachenko, forget all this quarantine. I don't care about the, them actually, the penalty of the corona. I think that they actually charged Teo for breaking the rules, but he didn't care about none of that because he said, listen, we're going to bleed on each other tomorrow night. So why not be all close and personal? So with that being said, Lomachenko, I won't say, I mean, at the end of the day, it's fair to say he got exposed thanks to old media hyping him up. Now, after the fight, Lomachenko said he thought he won the fight, but I found it ironic that he didn't request a rematch. Normally, when a fighter felt like he won, he demanded a rematch at all costs. It don't matter what it is. Lomachenko, I didn't even hear him once say, I want the rematch, at least right after the fight, during the post-fight interview. So he was kind of a sore loser because during the Salido loss, he took his loss like a man. But with Lopez, I think he just didn't want to accept the fact that he got beat by a better man after Teo pretty much trashed him during the lead up. So I think that's where it came from, him being a sore loser. I just think that he didn't want to give Teo his props, but credit to Teo. He says there's no bad blood. It's just boxing at the end of the day. I'm going to shake his hand before and after the fight, and that's exactly what he did. On the other hand, Lomachenko, like I said, you know, he didn't show Lopez that same respect after the fight, even though he got beat by a better man. I mean, obviously the scorecards were a little bit wild, wild in my opinion, but the right man won tonight. How are you going to win a fight when you don't throw no punches? Lomachenko gave up the first 7 rounds. And then it was clear as day, Lopez won the 12th round. So he won the fight right there. Forget the closer rounds on the later stages of the fight. So Lomachenko, like I said, he just didn't want to accept the fact that he got beat by Teo after Teo trashed him leading up to the fight. I think that's where it came from. But still, if you're going to feel like you won, ask for a rematch. I mean, there's been close decisions in the past, and there's been robberies in the past. For example, when Lara got robbed against Canelo, what did Lara do? He called out Canelo Alvarez right away. He wanted a rematch right away. But on the other hand, Lomachenko, he want to say he won, but he not demanding the rematch. So, you know, that just pretty much tells the whole story right there, that he even knew, he knew deep inside he lost, because right after the fight, Teo was celebrating. Teo was telling everybody, I told you this is a takeover. On the other hand, Lomachenko wasn't celebrating at all. Impressions tells the whole story, and Lomachenko was not celebrating, not even a bit. On the other hand, Teo was jumping up and down, and as far as I know, old media was hyping up Lomachenko so much that he was supposed to watch Lopez. This was his coming out party. Lomachenko is 32 years old. Lomachenko is in his prime. Lomachenko fought at 132 and won a gold medal in the Olympic at that weight. So 135 is very comfortable for him. It's only his 3rd weight division. He's in his prime, like I pointed out. Fighting a guy that is unexperienced, who only have 15 fights. But skill paid the bills. People didn't want to give Floyd Mayweather credit. You know, they made all type of excuses when it came to Canelo, even though Canelo had more than 50 fights around the time. He'd been a pro for like 8 years. When Floyd Mayweather fought him, he was 23 years old, the same age as Teo. The only advantage he had is that he went 12 rounds a couple times against a guy like Trout and many more. He was a unified champion, matter of fact. So he was ready. He said he was born ready. But skills pay the bills, and Teo proved that tonight. So old media could erase Lomachenko losses. Old media could do whatever is possible on their end in order to boost up Lomachenko. But one thing they cannot do is fight for him. He still got to fight for himself at the end of the day, or at least the night. And tonight he pretty much got exposed for being overhyped. Obviously, Gennady Golovkin was overhyped. They put him on the greatest list of the past 25 years. But we ended up seeing what took place when it came to Gennady Golovkin, because he got exposed against Jacob, Canelo Alvarez, and Deryachenko. And then that's when Max Kellerman chose to jump off the train and hop into the Lomachenko hop train. And now that crashed as well. So we'll see who they hop in on what I mean, shit, they better off going to the subway now. You know what I'm saying? They running out of trains because, you know, Lomachenko didn't want to fight Devin Haney and got beat by Teo. How ironic is that? But he is a good talent. You're not going to be, you have to be a great fighter to win 2 gold medals and become a champion in the pros. But they overhyped him. They labeling him as pound for pound #1 on top of Andre Ward and Terrence Crawford when he only had like 8 fights and 1 lost. Now they have to face it. Now, what does that mean? Is Lopez pound for pound #1? Because if you be pound for pound #1, you're supposed to be pound for pound #1, you know? What's the description box? The link. Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know. I thought I put it in the description box. My bad. Damn. Excuse me. So let me go ahead and put the number right here. So the number is on the screen. So go ahead and call in. I meant to put it in the description box, but I was rushing to go live. So like I said, they pretty much overhyped Lomachenko, and he ended up getting exposed. Because if you compare Lopez to Floyd Mayweather, for example, like I said before, Floyd Mayweather was actually old. He was 36. He was about to be 37 years old. And we already know as a fighter, you start declining after 34. When you hit 34, you start declining as a fighter. Before that, you reaching your peak, right? As far as experience, as far as man strength, as far as the whole package, you know, knowing the in and outs in the boxing ring. And Floyd was an old fighter, and he still beat Canelo Alvarez every single round, whooped him from pillow to post. And Canelo had 50 fights. He was 23 years old, the same age as Lopez, but he had more experience in the pros, being a pro for 8 years, and also having 50 fights. And Floyd Mayweather was in his 5th weight division. But as soon as he beat Canelo, they told him, go up and weight and fight Gennady Golovkin. Meanwhile, leading up to the Lomachenko fight, they were trying to paint the narrative that Lomachenko is old, even though he's 32 years old, even though he's in his prime, even though, like I pointed out before, he fought at 132 in the amateurs and won a gold medal there. So 135 is a comfortable weight as well. So that was only his 3rd weight division. And he led a fighter like Lopez, who had only 1 title defense. He let Lopez beat him and school him. He didn't just knock him out. He showed that he's a better boxer, that he's a better fighter than my man Lomachenko. So you got to give credit where credit is due, because old media, they want to say being undefeated is not impressive. Being undefeated for 20 years is not impressive. But they over here erasing Lomachenko losses. Now, let's see you guys try to erase Lomachenko loss on more than one occasion. Erase 2 losses now. How about that? You know, so whatever happens in the dark will always come to light, and the truth will always come out. And the truth is, Lomachenko is a good fighter, but he's not as good as old media hyped him out to be. I mean, that's why fighters end up taking steroids in the sport of boxing, because they try to live up to the hype, and they can't live up to the hype, so they have to resort to illegal tactics in order to live up to the hype. So Lomachenko, obviously, he's a great talent, but Lopez, shit, it's called a takeover. You know, Brooklyn in the house. He knocked out Comey. Now he's looking to fight. He knocked out Comey in an impressive fashion, then beat Lomachenko. So, you know, credit to Lopez, because he nullified Lomachenko all around the board, from his footwork. I mean, Lomachenko could utilize all them angles against lesser talent, against lesser fighters that don't have the same footwork he has. But Lopez, he brought speed to the table. He had his hand speed possibly better than Lomachenko. He had more power. He had just as much skill. He also had footwork. So even though experience wasn't on his side, he overcame that and defeated the more experienced fighter that's in his prime, Lomachenko. So Lopez, man, he get all the credit in the world for pulling off such a tremendous victory. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up the phone calls right now. Shout out to OG Swag and everybody in the chat. How you doing, AKHi? Who this is and where you calling from?
It's straight from the Bay.
From the Bay. What's going on?
Hello?
What was your take on the fight?
Man, I had it 9-3. Of course, Lopez. Man, he won in the best way possible to shut down the hope lies, if you think about it. Because a knockout would have left them a little wiggle room to squirm and try to make an excuse and say, well, you know, he just got caught, or, you know, it was a lucky punch. And he just took that away from him. He actually just dominated in the most. I mean, you know how when you get something over on somebody and they just can't say nothing?
Yeah.
That's how it is right now. You could just tell, like, all the decaf is just steaming right now. They can't stop me now.
I mean, see, it's
Man,
crazy. It's crazy because Lomachenko, this was his coming out party. If we all being honest, this was his coming out party because he was supposed to show in and show out. I mean, every time he fought an opponent, like for example, Rigan Diao fights at 118 right now. That was a guy 3 divisions smaller than him. Also, Rigan Diao was inactive. He was fighting 1 time a year, and he was like, what, 38, 40 years old, right? But he never fought a cat coming off a tremendous victory. Even when he fought Walters was inactive as well. Walters wasn't coming off a tremendous victory.
Yep.
So, you know, he really
and
never...
This was for all the chips.
Right. So he never fought a guy that's really that's having momentum on his side. And even though Lopez didn't have the experience on his side with only 15 fights, he only went 12 rounds 1 time. So it was highly impressive actually to see a guy like Lopez, you know, pull off such a victory. I mean, talking about making legacy at an early age.
Exactly. Man. Seriously, I mean, he like literally like a time machine. He like picked up his career faster. So like, he actually like is ahead about like 2 years now because now he's the man. Just like how what was Ruiz, like how he was the man for a second because he beat or he upset Anthony Joshua. How he just became the man all of a sudden. Well, he was the man, but he actually did it right. It wasn't no fluke.
Yeah.
And just to kind of go over the fight a little bit, like I know everybody was saying he was like less experienced, but if you look at the fight, he fought more experience. I mean, I forget the other fighter's name, the one that knocked out the guy in the first round. What was his name?
Berlinga?
Yeah, Berlinga. You know how he started doing push-ups after the end of the fight because he didn't do the game plan. He didn't do what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Well, Loma, like he owed his trainer or whoever, he owed him push-ups all night because not for real, because you're supposed to be the Matrix, but you didn't even like. If you look at Lopez, he stayed composed. He shot with the jab. He made sure he cut off the ring. He put the body shots in. You know, that insurance that later paid off. You know what I'm saying? He followed everything he was supposed to do like a real true champion. And if you look at Loma, he didn't do anything that would make you indicate that he's the champion or he's the draw at least. And it's like, whoa, man, you're supposed to be the Matrix. The Matrix is supposed to be this thing that's complex, but you didn't really have nothing for him. You didn't have a plan A, plan B. And if you look at Lopez's arsenal, he had everything. Even when he started kind of getting hit with the jab and he started kind of getting tagged like around 8, around 9, because that's really when what's the name started turning up. Loma started turning up. He adjusted with the uppercut. He's like, okay, he had something for it. And that's the thing. He adjusted like a true champion. And we looked at Loma and we seen him go through adversity. He had nothing for it but to just run away from it until he was like, okay, I can't run away no more. I just got to go at it. And he went at it and he started getting hit. Like people were like, oh, you know, I was looking at Twitter, you know, update by the second. People were like, oh, he's starting to catch him clean and he's getting the cleaner shots. I'm like, bullshit. Every time he gets those little pitty pat pats, he's eating one in the bread basket or catching a hard left hook. And I'm like, yeah, like this ain't, he don't have nothing other than them little tricks where he just jumps to the side. Like that shit is like, nah, you need way more than that when you come up to the elite level. And we see it all the time, even with Triple G. Every time they get that elite level, all that bullshit go out the window. You know, that's why you can't hop on the, you know, the hype train so quick because you got to wait until they run into someone who can show them. And remember, he said, oh my God, just like I said, man, this is like the most perfect way to beat the hype. Because remember, before the fight, he was like, I'm 100%, ain't no injuries. Now I can show y'all what I really got. Oh my God.
Yeah, no excuses. There's no
set
excuses.
Himself up to be shot down.
And it's crazy you say that, you know, the Berlinga push-ups, you know, he got the victory, but he didn't do what he was supposed to do. But Lomachenko, he owed his father 1,000 push-ups, man, because he pretty much gave up half of the fight. As an experienced champion, you're supposed to be you're not supposed to have that much nerve. Like, Lomachenko was very nervous in the early part of the fight. Half of the fight he was extremely nervous and cautious for good reasons, but still, I mean, come on, man, you got
too much respect.
Yeah, you got to let your hands fly. And you pointed out that Lomachenko turned it up late and he was catching Lopez with the jab, and that was because I was actually worried about that. I said before the fight that Lopez keep his left hand down and he kind of fight from the kind of like a Philly shell. But if you peep Floyd, when he fights a southpaw, he don't fight off that Philly shell a lot, because you leave yourself open for that jab from a southpaw position. And I was kind of worried when it comes to Lopez due to that. However, even with that, Lomachenko could not capitalize on the fact that Lopez pretty much had his hands down. I mean, that disrespect. You're supposed to be the Matrix, and a guy got his hands down in front of you, and you can't do nothing about it.
Yeah,
uppercut gonna stop you from coming forward. And obviously
that was Teo's only like downfall in that fight. Well, actually two. One, he didn't throw enough. I think Teo should have tripled up the jab a lot, but he still kept it popping. He popped it hard and it was strong. But yeah, he was keeping his hands down, and like you said, it was that left hand. He would like roll and then try to like counter with the right hand, or roll with counter with a right uppercut. And when he did do that, it would either land or miss, but he wouldn't raise that left hand or bring that left hand back up. And he would just eat something every time he reset it, kind of just giving it away to Lomachenko, kind of not really making him work for it, and that's really the only reason he was getting off is because Teo was literally not putting his hands up. If he put his hands up, then he wouldn't even have got what he got.
Yeah, he would have eliminated a lot.
I don't want to take up time. I don't want to take up too much time because I know everybody else want to call in. I don't want to be stingy. You know what I'm saying? I'll just say in the last part, two more things. The 12th round or the 11th round, he hurt Loma with a body shot, stopped all kind of momentum. It was near the end of the round, and then in the 12th round, he hurt him, I think with like a hook or something. And you see them trying to save him with that dumbass stoppage or check the cut.
Horrible.
With just 10 seconds left, stopping the momentum. Like, what kind of shit was that?
Yeah. I mean, the fight is
and they let him rest.
Yeah, you let him rest the last 10 seconds. The cut wasn't going to affect him the last 10 seconds. He could fight through it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, what you going to do? Even if the cut is so bad, you got to stop the fight. You ain't going to stop in the last 10 seconds. So why not let him dog it out? Because Lomachenko, like you said, he got hurt, and he was getting caught by a lot of haymakers. Lopez put it on him, and I think he should have did that even early on when Lomachenko turned it up, and he will come into the inside. I think, because Lopez, he had the size advantage, he could have smothered a lot of that work just by pushing Lomachenko back and making it a dogfight even then. But he still did it late.
And that was the experience right there.
Right. That was the experience factor. However, Lopez still pulled it off. And like you said, man, that was a horrible job by the referee, stopping the action the last 10 seconds when Lopez hurt Lomachenko the most in that round. I mean, that was I never seen. I mean, I think it's safe to say that was as bad as we ever seen Lomachenko hurt in a fight, because he was, backing up and was getting hit with all type of punches, and it was pretty much, I think, like you said, the body shot. I think, I don't know what round, the 11th or 12th, he landed a great body shot that pretty much sucked the air out of Lomachenko, and Lomachenko had to retreat, but man, I'm telling you,
he kind of kneeled forward. He kind of like dipped over, like doubled over a little bit in the stomach. And then I think Andre Ward even called it out. He was like, "Oh, you see that body shot affect him?" It was near the end of the 11th round, if I'm correct.
Right. Yeah. So it was definitely a tremendous victory by Lopez, and he won the world over. Tonight, he is a superstar in the game. I mean, he shit. Talking about making legacy, in order to be great, you have to make great fights and take risks. And Teo took a huge risk, at an early age, and it paid off. He said, let's not forget, he called for this. He been requesting the Lomachenko fight for the past 2-3 years, and he made it happen. And it's one thing to talk about it, it's one thing to trash talk. However, is another to back it up. And Lopez is definitely taking over in the sport of boxing.
Yup. And now they can't even shit on his dad because his dad was right the whole time. And he was right for acting like that. He knew exactly what his son's gonna do, and he fucking executed it. So all that shit they was talking about his dad being too much, talking too much, or doing this too much, nah. And you know what, too? You know what? He exposed him. He really is a diva. He didn't want to fucking hug him up, shake up when it was done, even before, like right when the bell rung, you see Teofimo kind of hug him up and just be like, you know, it's all good fight, like, you know, like how you're supposed to do, show some sportsmanship. But you can see Loma was just like nah, like just a little poop butt. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah,
you know what? He is a fucking dude.
You got to have sportsmanship. The fight is over. I mean, Lopez, even, you know, leading up to the fight, he said when he was asked, would you shake his hand? He said, I shake his hand before and after the fight. I mean, it's a fight at the end of the day. You know, it ain't personal to me. So, you know, like you said, Loma want to say he won the fight. He want to be a sore loser, but you don't want to call him out for a rematch, or even you don't even celebrate. I mean, right after the fight, you saw Teo celebrate. You saw Teo, you know, he felt like he won the fight. On the other hand, you see Lomachenko, he knew he lost. He saw the defeat coming a mile away. But I appreciate talking with you. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the other calls.
For sure.
Yes, sir. Great talking with you. How you doing, AKHi? Who this is?
Yeah,
Where you
what's
calling
up,
from?
AKHi?
Yes, sir.
I'm calling from Ottawa, man. Ottawa, Canada was good, man. Salam alaikum.
Alaikum assalam, man. So how'd you feel about tonight?
Yeah.
Was you impressed by Teo?
Dude, man, listen, bro. I'm shocked, man. Listen, this is history. This is history, because like everybody, like all the champions, all the trainers, like I don't know if you saw like all the videos that were going on YouTube. Everybody was predicting Lomachenko, and Teofimo just like proved everybody wrong. You know, like this is like it was a crazy fight, man. Crazy fight. And now like I feel like all the like the young generation fighters, like all the 90s babies, like Devin Haney, Teofimo, Ryan Garcia, like all the new generation, Shakur Stevenson. Like I feel like the future of boxing is like it's for real and it's back, man.
Yeah,
you know,
bright.
and
the future of boxing is bright,
like,
and it's crazy.
Yeah, man, like I was
it's crazy. You said, you know, all these fighters was predicting Loma to win because, you know, even the young bucks was picking Loma to win. Shakur, he said he loved Lopez. He said in his heart he want Lopez to win, but his mind tell him Lomachenko gonna win. He predict Loma was gonna win. And a lot of fighters, you know, Andre Ward and so many different fighters, they were picking Lomachenko to win.
Everybody, man.
And Teo shocked the world, man. Like I said, you know, they don't call him to take over for nothing.
Like,
yeah.
It was crazy. I was actually predicting like, you know, just a classic prediction. I was predicting Loma by a decision and Teo by knockout, but actually like Teo proved that he can actually box, man. Like it's just an incredible fight.
You know what's
crazy? I'm excited for the future.
Yes, sir. You know what's crazy? I was telling people when they were saying, you know, Teo by KO, but I was telling people, listen, Teo got more skill than power. A lot of people are overlooking his skill because of his power. And the reason why I know that, not because of his pro career so far, but I was watching him, you know, spar Ugas. And Ugas, he a welterweight. And during sparring, I'll never forget that sparring. Like, Teo was looking good in sparring, you know, and I was just like, man, this can't be. I mean, is Ugas not?
And apparently, he's more comfortable at a higher weight too, like 140.
Yeah, he's gonna be better at 140.
Like 140.
Yeah, he was killing himself to make 135, so he definitely gonna be better at 140. But you know, just seeing him, you know, I ain't gonna lie, he was outboxing Ugas and you know, and making it look easy, knowing the fact that Ugas is a top level talent at the welterweight division. I knew this man had a lot of skill because Teo, I don't know if you know this, but Teo was sparring the likes of Rigan Diao. Like when he was a baby, you know, Teo was around like 15, 16, 17. He was sparring the likes of Rigan Diao. He sparred Javante. He sparred Devin. He sparred, I don't know if he sparred Shakur or not, but most likely he did. But he had tremendous sparring on the come up as a youngin. So he fought better fighters when he was a youngin than he did so far in the pros. And that experience sparring the best, it paid off against Lomachenko because he was acting like the veteran in there. He was more composed than Lomachenko,
Yeah, man.
which was very, very shocking to see.
Yeah. And I think it was like a lot of power for Loma because Loma, I think, like in fights, man, like when you go through fights, you're not the same. Loma was coming into this fight saying he was more healthier than ever. Like he didn't have any injury with his right hand against like he had against I think it was against Campbell or I don't know which other fight it was, but I know like he had injuries like before he fought against Campbell or before he fought against
I think
the
before he fought Corolla, I think
Venezuelan guy.
Linares, he said he had
Yeah, I think it's
but he did a surgery.
Another two, yeah, it was his shoulder or something like that, yeah. And and he's coming into this fight like fresh 1 year, but like I think Teal was just like too much power, man. Like this guy, man. I'm really proud, man. I'm actually really like I'm not bashing like when you go in the sport, when you go in the ring, man. Like it's always a 50-50 fight, Like that's why like I'm actually like because I was like, man, like people were really misunderstand. Sorry, what's it called? Underestimating Teofimo's like like potential, man. Because it's always a 50-50 fight, man.
Yeah.
Always like depending on the experience, but like going into this fight, like people were really underestimating him, and just like I can't wait to see the reactions from other boxers and trainers and other journalists. I think this might be like the I mean I like we'll see in the reviews, but he might be like the fighter of the year.
He changed the landscape.
By Ring Magazine, maybe.
Yeah, he changed the landscape in the sport of. He changed the landscape in the sport of boxing because a lot of people, they were very hype on Lomachenko, and the fact that he beat Loma in this fashion, like you said, he was injured free. Lomachenko, leading up to the fight, he said this is the best he ever felt. And just to see the fact that Lopez beat that version of Lomachenko. Lopez beat the best version of Lomachenko in his prime, in his heyday, around his best weight where he not struggling to make the weight. And Lopez beat him at that weight at a youngin. So, that only says so much about Lopez's potential in the sport of boxing because he's only 23 years old. So once he pick a lot of experience and once he fight at a more comfortable weight class, we're gonna see the best of Lopez. So like Lopez said leading up to the fight, Lomachenko gonna bring the best out of me as far as skill wise, and we saw evidence of that tonight. He had better footwork than Lomachenko. I mean, Lomachenko keep moving his head, changing levels, but it wasn't effective against Lopez. Lopez was more. He had a smarter footwork than Lomachenko. So that being said, anything you want to say? Anything else you want to say?
I'm just like really curious, like what's your take? You think like Teal going to 140? Because yes, he'll be probably strong. Like he will be stronger because he won't be as dehydrated from the weight from cutting weight. But like against like Jorge Ramirez, I know he can talk about like going against him, but Ramirez, man, he's a dog too, man. He goes in and steps in, and like he's a dog, man. Like you saw him fighting homicide. Was it homicide?
Postal.
Hook. Frig. I'm just not too good with the names. What's his name, man? At 140, he lost against Ramirez.
I know you're talking about the tall fighter. I forgot when he became unified. I think it was Hooker. I think it was Hooker.
Exactly.
I think it was Hooker you talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Maurice against Maurice. No bad. Yeah. What do you think? Like, how do you think he's gonna like do at 140? Even possibly at 147? Because I heard like in the post fight they were talking about 147. That's a different category weight, man. You got Spence there. You got Garcia. Maybe do you think he should wait at 135?
It's too early to go to 147.
Wait at 135 and get a fight like with
you got Devin Haney at 130. Yeah, you got Devin Haney at 135. He called out Devin Haney. Matter of fact, I'm gonna talk about it in a little bit. But also you got
that fight would be crazy, man.
Yeah, Devin Haney versus Lopez will be a hell of a fight.
Devin Haney is good too, man. Like I will put him like in a fight. It will be 50-50 because Devin Haney, man, this kid is. But he hasn't like faced the same. People keep saying that he hasn't faced the same caliber as Teal. So like like man, like if
Yeah,
you
but
put him in the ring, I think Devin Haney too. He can pull something off, man. Like he can outbox too. They're all like really great.
yeah, skills pay the bills. I mean, you saw evidence of that tonight.
Yeah,
Lopez, he didn't have more
exactly.
experience than Lomachenko, and he beat Lomachenko. So experience plays a factor, but at the end of the
Yeah,
day, if we talk about Floyd Mayweather, for example, in his prime, the best version of Floyd is the version that fought Corrales at 24 years old. The best version of Floyd wasn't the
yeah,
version of Floyd when he was, 37 or 36 when he fought Canelo. The best version is when he fought Corrales when he was a young buck, because that's when you still got your youth, you still got your basically you're willing to take chances, so on and so forth. So with Devin Haney and Lopez, that's a hell of a fight for undisputed at 135. But if I'm being honest with you,
man.
I
That's
don't.
gotta be a pay per view. I don't care. That's
I,
gotta be a pay per view, man.
it would be lovely to see that fight next. To see that fight next is like a hardcore boxing fan, dream. But I don't think Bob Arum going to make that fight next, if I'm being honest. But I think he will fight.
Yeah, I know.
I think he will fight Devin Haney at 140 because Devin is also going to move up to 140 soon. So they could clash at 140. So I'm not worried about Devin Haney versus Lopez not happening. I was worried about Devin Haney versus Lomachenko not happening because I knew Loma wasn't going to fight Devin. But Lopez and Lomachenko, they both young. Even Bill Haney talked about it. They both young, and they're going to meet up down the line somewhere. So Tio at 140, he could fight Ramirez, but I think Ramirez is about to fight Taylor. So that's going to be for undisputed at 140. It's going to be a hell of a fight, to be honest with you. And I got Taylor all the way.
Yeah.
But Tio, he could fight the likes of Taylor at 140. And there's so many fighters, So I think the way Lopez should approach the game is, a Devin Haney fight will be lovely, or 140, stay at 140, dominate that division, try to be undisputed, and possibly fight Devin Haney at 140, even if that fight doesn't happen at 135. But anything else you want to say before I pick up another call?
No, man. Listen, man. I love your show. I'll keep following, man. Like, great show. And I think boxing is back, man. Boxing never left. It's just that I feel like there was like a little phase. Now like it's great. Like I'm just really happy that like all these great fighters are in the ring now. Like the new generation, man. Like they're tearing things up, man. Like also that guy that fought on the other card,
Berlinga.
I think he's fighting on middleweight.
Berlinga.
Yeah, man. He's Costa Rican. I think it's Costa Rica or Puerto Rico.
Yeah, he's from Brooklyn too. I don't know if you noticed. Hey, Brooklyn winning tonight
because
I know Berlinga. Yeah. He a very bright star in the sport of boxing. I mean, you saw tonight. He was trying to box. He was trying to box, but he's so heavy-handed that this man landed a few punches and he got his man out of there. And that's why his trainer made him do push-ups, because he like, man, shit, man, we got to work on your skills. But he can't even work on his skills because as soon as he land a punch or two, the fight is over. But man, that guy right there is trouble for anybody at 168.
Yeah, Berlinga is crazy, man.
Yeah, that he's gonna be trouble for everybody.
What weight again?
He fighted at 168. Benavidez said that he will. Benavidez said he would love to fight him as well. Benavidez is one of the best at 168.
Okay, yeah. Benavidez is always down. Benavidez he's game, man. This guy bites down too. That would be a great fight.
The fact that Benavidez, like at his level, he a champion, fighting a guy like Berlinga is a huge risk because you don't know his potential. And he called him out. Like let's not forget, Benavidez voluntarily called out Berlinga before anybody took notice. So just to see that, you got to give Benavidez a lot of respect points for that. Wanting to fight a guy like Berlinga.
Yeah, man.
You got a guy like Canelo. Benavidez calling him out all day, and Canelo is not answering the call. He's saying he don't fight his people when he fought Chavez Jr. But Benavidez, you could tell he want to fight the best. He want to prove that he the best. And Berlinga and Benavidez, man, that's going to be a tremendous fight in the future. But I'm very.
That'll be a crazy fight. I can't wait for that one, man.
Yes, sir.
Can't wait. Canelo, I don't know if you still got issues with the Zone and De La Hoya, but I don't know if that's. I don't know if those are rumors, but like We don't know what the situation with Canelo. Like we don't really know any. We don't really get any news. While the other boxers are staying busy. Maybe it's good for him. Maybe that he takes some time out for his body to, rest. But like we don't have any news with Canelo, man. Like
Yeah,
I don't
we'll
know.
see. We'll see. But
We
let
already
me
know
go
he's
ahead and
been
pick up
fighting
another
at
call, my
heavyweight.
man. Yeah, because I got
All
another
right, homie.
I got a lot of
All right, peace
callers.
out, homie.
Appreciate it for calling in. All right.
And then, yeah, man.
Peace. How you doing, Aki? Who this is? Where you calling from?
Здравствуйте. This be Vladimir, call from Brighton Beach, Brooklyn.
Oh man, hey, Brooklyn winning right now. I know y'all proud. Shit, I'm from Brooklyn too, so you already know what time it is with me. But
No, this be scam. Inside job. Lomachenko win. He win every round. I don't know what you say. You think because I'm from Brooklyn, I support Teofimo.
so
I'm
you
from
had
Russia. I support Lomachenko. You don't know what you're talking about. It's inside job. That Teofimo, he a suka, he gopnik. Gopnik in Russian mean hoodlum. He a hoodlum, and you don't know.
so
We win.
So you thought
We win
Lomachenko
every
won
round.
every round.
Of course. What do you think, man? You think just
So
because I'm from
so let me
Brooklyn, I
ask you this
support
question.
Teofimo?
Well, apparently
I'm
you
not
from
nationalist like you. I don't.
apparently you from Ukraine and you supporting Lomachenko blonde. So were you watching? I got a question for you. Were you watching the Lomachenko fight with your eyes open?
I watch with my eyes wide open as I sip on my vodka
Well,
like every Russian.
So you had your eyes open watching the fight, and you thought Lomachenko won every single round?
Almost every round, basically, in particular, second half of fight.
So
Yeah.
how he won?
See?
So how did he win the first round when he didn't even land a single punch? Don't you gotta land punches to win?
No, because his footwork. He has the best footwork.
So now so you won fights with footworks. So this is kickboxing or this is boxing. You gotta hit your opponent in the face with your hand in order to score. So explain to me, how can you say Lomachenko won the first round without landing a single punch?
Who I be talking to? This Dunayevsky?
Who am I talking to? Is this Lomachenko's son that's adopted, that's abandoned? Who is this? I'm talking to you about explain to me. You said he won it with his footwork. So what was he doing with his footwork? Kicking Lopez in the face with it? This is boxing. This is not kickboxing. So explain to me, how can you win a round without landing a single punch?
Bro, I was joking. I'm not Russian. I'm not Ukrainian. I was just fucking with you. I'm sorry. I couldn't do that any longer. No, just wanted to fuck with you.
You sure? Because I feel like I think you sincere, man.
My name isn't Vladimir, bro. That was a joke. I'm sorry. I sometimes do with Deontay too. I do a short prank before going into my analysis. I let this one go on a little too long. It was kind of fun. I'm really sorry. Can I be serious now?
Okay, go ahead. Cause I shit.
I'm
we
sorry,
were having
man.
fun.
I wanted to make it a 30-second prank, and it went on a little too long.
It's
cool.
But
I'm sure there are people who have that perspective.
It's cool.
Bro.
It's cool. At the end of the day, listen, it's all fun and dandy. But
I didn't know you're from Brooklyn. I'm from New York, Manhattan, in the Bronx. Live in Chicago now. That's cool though. But the name is actually Lalo, not Vladimir. You speak Russian, because I was kind of able to do the accent and stuff, but I ain't Russian. But yeah, back to being serious now, or to start being serious. Yeah, no, I think it was a clear victory for Teofimo Lopez. I think it was, I would say 8-4 in his favor. I was really impressed with his ability to control range on his jab, his ability to nullify Lomachenko's angles and side-to-side footwork. It was very impressive because coming into the fight, the narrative was that the only chance Teofimo had was through a knockout, right? Landing a lucky right hand, southpaw killer, and that Lomachenko would beat him with his superior boxing skills. But he shows that he has an IQ and he's a boxer, something I already knew. I mean, I don't know how people were unable to notice that, given his his pretty strong record, even though it doesn't have a lot of fights. But yeah, it was great showcase. We're entering a new landscape, really exciting. As just echoing off previous callers, we have a lot of young lions from Lopez to Haney to Ryan Garcia to Shakur Stevenson. I would say like the cream of the crop is Teofimo. After him, I would say it's probably like Shakur, Haney, then Ryan. I'm honestly not too impressed with Ryan. I think he's a little overhyped, so talented. But yeah, no, it was great. New media is a bunch of bullshit. I mean, Max Kellerman the other day was saying that Lomachenko would even freaking beat Duran. I think that's complete bullshit. I think Duran would have knocked out Lomachenko.
Well, hold on.
Yeah, so
Max
I mean,
Kellerman,
it's just stupid.
Max Kellerman said Lomachenko beats Duran.
He didn't just say that, bro. He said that he's this shouldn't surprise you. He said he's the best boxer since the post Mayweather era, and he would beat Duran in his prime, which I think is complete bullshit. I mean, Mayweather, Pacquiao, Duran, Chavez Sr., they all beat Lomachenko in my opinion. I think Lomachenko is good, don't get me wrong, but he's just overhyped, man. He's fucking overhyped. It's not his fault, but he's overhyped. And yeah, I'll let you give your commentary, but I was very impressed with Teofimo.
All right, hey, I appreciate the prank too, man. But so you are Ukrainian or not?
Nah, bro, I'm Latino. I speak Russian.
Oh,
yeah.
So you speak Russian, but you Latino?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's multilingual actually. So I speak Italian. I speak a couple languages. That's why I was able to like throw in some of the words. I didn't want to go like on a long prank. I'm really sorry.
You got me for a second. Hey, because at the end of the day, we want Lomachenko fans to call in. There's no, at the end of the day, we just want to know how they feel.
Of course, yeah. That's why I was trying to do that because I didn't expect them to call in. So I kind of did the whole kind of joke. So.
I got you.
But I'm sure a lot of them have it that way. I mean, even like Teddy Atlas, he's, a real Lomachenko fanboy. He obviously, like in his Twitter, he was like, oh, yeah, well, the right man won. But he kept going on about the scorecards. I think they were a little wide, but in the end, we know who they're rooting for, man.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, as long yeah, I agree. The scorecard were a little bit wild, but as long the right man won, it ain't a big deal to me. As long the right man won, right man won, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? It don't really make that much of a difference.
I actually have a few questions for you, if that's all right. Just a little longer. I don't want to take up too much time.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah. So what's up with Professor Nim? Like, is it because COVID he's not on?
Oh, well, I done knocked out Professor Nim a million times. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened, man. You quit. You know what I'm saying? It take a toll on you.
Oh,
you know
he did. I didn't know he was that much of an adversary. All right.
Yeah. I guess, he couldn't deal with the...
I thought you guys are friends or something.
Yeah. That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it take a toll on you. When you're receiving L's every day,
yeah, I get it.
Every single day, on every single topic, you got to surrender. You got to wave the white flag. You know what I'm saying? So I caught too many bodies. You know what I mean? So I guess that's my fault. But I appreciate you.
I got you.
I appreciate you for
calling in. Now, I want to come on for a real debate. This is one last thing. I want to come on for a real debate, not like a troll like before, about like Crawford, Spence. If there's a future fight, because I actually have Crawford. I think he's the most complete fighter at the welterweight division. Don't want to go on another topic, but I know Spence is your boy, so I would love to talk about that with you in the future. But anyways, take care, man.
Yeah, call in when we talk about it. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely going to be a huge fight, the fight of the decade. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Crawford, he the man too. He pound for pound number one. That's why I got him ranked as pound for pound.
Yeah, one thing that people miss. People like, oh well, Crawford has the skill, right? But then Spence can nullify the skill through natural like size, right? But Crawford actually has longer reach. People don't realize that he has longer reach.
And he got power.
Despite Spence. Yeah, I mean, Spence has power. He's taller, and he is a naturally bigger man. He has a bigger frame, but he has the reach, Crawford. So he does have some like.
And Crawford himself got power because Crawford stopped. His
he has power too.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah, he stopped five. I think
not
at
5 to 6 level,
opponents.
But
he stopped his last 5 to 6 opponents. So yeah, Crawford got power too. So that's going to be a hell of a fight.
But what I think is going to happen, dude, I think Crawford. I got Crawford, but I'm afraid that the fights could drag on too long, and Crawford will be 35, 36 out of his prime, and then I'll have to give to Spence. You see what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think. Well, how old is he now? 33.
He's going to be 34 real soon. Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like he's getting to that age.
Yeah, I think I think his birthday was like a week ago, so he's 33 right now. If the fight
Oh, okay, so he
happened,
has another year. Okay.
yeah, if the fight happened in a year time span from now, I mean, I think he should be okay. You know what I'm saying? As long as the fight don't get dragged out.
Yeah, because that would
Which,
piss me off. I want them both at their prime.
yeah, I don't think they're gonna drag this fight out any longer because you got to remember, I mean, how long can Errol Spence make 147? So he better off fighting Crawford now before he can no longer make the weight or struggle so much to lose the weight that he no longer himself. So he better off actually fighting Crawford now. You know what I'm saying? But we definitely gonna talk about it on the later topic. You know, whenever once you do call in. All right.
Yeah, definitely. I'll tune in. Thanks a lot, man. Sorry for the troll I had to.
Nah, you good.
All right, take care.
Take care. So I got a couple news for you guys. Fighters' reactions, they were pretty much sent to me while I was, doing the live. Well, we already know Lopez. He called out Haney and he said he a two-time email champion. And in no time, the boogeyman responded. Devin Haney, he has something to say. He said Lopez versus Haney 2021. Let's do it. All the belts, truly for undisputed, because we already know, he got your boy, Lomachenko. He requested a French fries title, a witness protection belt, in order to avoid Devin Haney. So right now, Lopez, I think he got granted the franchise title. So in other words, he pretty much, they're trying to say he's undisputed, but we all know he's not undisputed because of the fact that Devin Haney has the real belt at 135. But Lopez, before the fight, he made it clear, I'm moving up to 140 after 135. So him calling out Devin Haney, does that mean he want to fight him at 135 next? Because let's make it clear, Lopez called out Devin Haney, but he called him out after he said, I'm moving up to 140. However, one thing to point out is that they're going to fight each other eventually because we all got to remember they both young. Devin Haney 21, Lopez 23. They have history. They sparred in the past. They met with each other where Teo said this fight going to happen down the line. Devin Haney said, let's make it happen now. But Teo, he knows how good Devin Haney is because he already sparred him. So he's not a fool. He knows what time it is. So he want to make sure that it's going to be for all marvels. Now, if he fights Devin Haney now, it is going to be for all marvels. But his plan is to move up to 140 first. Therefore, Devin Haney, I don't know how longer he's going to stay at 135. That fight could still happen in 2021 at 135 or 140. So hopefully that fight get made. It will look better, and it will be better if Lopez fights Devin Haney at 135 because now it's really going to be for undisputed. You know what I'm saying? For all the belts. But if he doesn't fight Devin Haney at 135 and he fights him at 140, they got to wait till Taylor fights Ramirez for the titles to even be out there. Because remember, there's no telling if Taylor going to stay at 140 or not. Now, after Lopez moved up to 140 and the fact that Taylor, he's with Top Rank, he might stick at 140 because he have plans to fight Terrence Crawford, and that will be a hell of a fight. I want to see Taylor versus Crawford really bad at 147 because the undisputed 140-pounder fight versus the undisputed the undisputed former 140-pounder, which is Crawford. And also, if Crawford could unify 147, the fight will even be bigger, right? But still, the same thing applies for Lopez and Taylor. If he could become undisputed, then Lopez, he's also undisputed at 135. So either way you look at it, those are tremendous fights for Taylor. So we'll see what direction Top Ranks go with. But that being said, Devin Haney versus Lopez at 140 don't make sense right now because they won't fight for any title. So they have to make it at 135. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Lopez, he want to troll Devin. He called him a 2-time email champion when we already know Lomachenko gave up his strap and waved the white flag and surrendered that title to him. So we know why Devin Haney the champion, because he's the boogeyman. He made the champion surrender his status. So that fight will be a tremendous fight in the future because it's two great talent. And man, that will be a treat for the boxing fans, to say the least. Now, on the other hand, Terrence Crawford responded, or he reacted to Lopez versus Loma with a 119 to 109 scorecard, and he was like, that was a good fight, but that scorecard was so disrespectful. And I agree with that 1,000%. I had Lomachenko winning 4 rounds. If you want to be generous, you could give him 5 rounds max. But to say that he got dominated every single round, or at least 11 rounds out of 12, I don't agree with that scorecard at all. But at the end of the day, that don't matter because the right man won. Now, he also added, I've been telling Top Rank for years, Lopez was ready. Good job, youngin. Good job, young fella. We've been talking about this for years. And I'm telling you, Lopez he manifested this because he talked about it and he brought it to existence. So when a fighter like Lopez, when he's a young buck in the game, calling out supposedly pound for pound #1 according to old media, but we already know Lomachenko is a pound for pound, a top 3 pound for pound fighter, but he's not pound for pound #1. No way. Like Floyd Mayweather said, in a million years, he's not a better fighter than Crawford. So the fact that Teo fought Lomachenko at his best during his prime, when Lomachenko had all of the advantages except of maybe size, the fact that Teo beat that version of Lomachenko, the best version, he gets all the credit in the world because, like I said, he made it happen. And, talk is one thing, but walking it how you talk it is another. Also, Errol Spence, he reacted to the win as well. Errol Spence reacted to Vasyl Lomachenko losing for the first time. You see how ESPN got me fooled. But Errol Spence stated that, thanks, Teo. Congratulations. Money, smile face, cheers. So you can see Errol Spence, he was pulling for Teo before the fight. He stated that he rocked with Teo, and I'm pretty sure he's very impressed by Teo's performance because people expected him to win by KO if he was going to win, but to win by outboxing the Matrix, by making the Matrix look ordinary is another. And the fact, like I said, Teo is only 23 years old. That's even more impressive because they try to say, oh man, Canelo Alvarez, they try to give him that he too young excuse, even though he was fighting an older guy in his 5th weight division, Floyd Mayweather, who was 36, 37 years old. Teo, on the other hand, he said he was born ready and it's the takeover, and he proved it. Teo actually showed Canelo Alvarez how to fight at that level. He only had 1 title defense, 15 fights. Canelo Alvarez, like I said before, he had 50 fights. He'd been a pro for 8 years. Lopez only been a pro for 4 years. And he dominated Lomachenko. I won't say, it's fair to say he exposed a lot of elements of his game. A lot of, Lomachenko, his kryptonite is him fighting off the back foot. He really can't fight that well off the back foot. So, like I said, for Lopez to pull it off at 23, it's just true. I say it's very. I don't know. I think it's fair to say that he's top 3 pound for pound. If you beat a pound for pound fighter, you automatically replace him on that pound for pound list. So Lomachenko was hyped up to be #1. So if you felt like Lomachenko was #1, then now Teo #1. He knocked out Comey, and now he beat Lomachenko. But if you felt like Lomachenko was a top 3 pound for pound fighter, then Teo is a top 3 pound for pound fighter, at 23. And that's history right there. Not too many fighters at 23 were pound for pound. Floyd Mayweather was. And funny enough, Tio even said it. He said, Lomachenko is not Floyd Mayweather. And he said, I'm not Canelo. And, he showed it with his performance tonight. Also, Shakur Stevenson, he posted, he said my name and then said Berlinga, which is a super middleweight. He was shouting out the next generation of boxers, the new era. Appreciate you, fam. Keep taking over. So Shakur, like I said, he was actually picking Lomachenko to beat Tio. He said, like I told you guys before, he said, listen, I want Tio to win, but I think Loma got more skill. And I'm pretty sure Shakur was impressed by Tio boxing skills because it was not his power that got the job done. It was his skill that got the job done. Skills pay the bills. Even though Lomachenko had every advantage in the book from experience, from being in his prime, Lopez, with his skill, he pulled off the win. So that only, like I said, it's fair to say Lopez is going to be a Hall of Famer. Knocking out Comey and beating Lomachenko at 23, his potential in the sport of boxing is second to none. So let me go ahead and pick up more callers. How you doing, AKHi? Who this is and where you calling from?
AKHi.
What's going on?
Yo, this Davis from Sydney. How you doing, champ?
I'm doing great. What's going on?
Yeah, man, it's an awesome fight, man. I thought Loma would win, but I'm glad Tio pulled it off,
Yeah. I mean, the fact that
yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, if Loma would have won, I'm not too confident that he would have fought Devin or the best competition out there. But Tio winning, I know Tio going to fight the best because remember, he fought Lomachenko at 23. So I know he's going to fight the likes of Devin. I know he's going to fight the likes of Ryan and Javante if that fight could be made. I don't know if Javante going to move up to 140 at all, but, at the end of the day, Lopez will fight the best.
Exactly. That'll be a great fight. It's better for boxing, for Tio. I know he feels real confident, he got power. He got he showed some boxing skills tonight, So
yes, sir.
Keen for
So
Davis.
Where do you have him on the pound for pound list?
Teofimo.
Teofimo Lopez, and you guys too. Put in the chat where you guys place Teofimo Lopez right now on the pound for pound list. So yeah, what's your take on that?
He has to be top 5. Yeah, he has to be top 5 pound for pound, because they had Lomachenko on the top 5. So now that Loma lost, Tio's up there now, top 5 for sure. With Benson
and him
Brothers as well, Crawford,
and him versus Teofimo Lopez versus all the lightweights right now. Just your take on like a Javante fight, a Devin Haney fight. These type of mega fights like with Ryan, so on and so forth. Who would you have favored against Teofimo Lopez if them fights get made down the line?
I prefer. I think Tank Davis. I think Tank Davis can beat Teofimo. I think Devin Haney can as well. Yeah, those two. I'm not sure about the others.
Oh yeah, you said Loma. I'm talking about Tio. I'm talking about Teofimo.
Yeah, Teofimo Lopez. I think he loses to Tank Davis, and and Devin Haney as well. Yeah, Devin Haney still needs more experience. You know,
Yeah, it's gonna come
needs
along
more
with it.
time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like
Yeah,
experience, plays a big role, but not to that extent. And we saw a proof of that tonight. Tio didn't have all the experience. Tio only had 15 fights, and he beat Lomachenko. So experience will only get you so far. You got to have the skill, and sometimes the talent gap is what matter. And Tio talent gap was way more than Lomachenko. And I think Devin Haney talent gap is with everybody. You know what I'm saying? There's no gap between him and anybody when it comes to talent, and he also have the hard work. So yeah, I'm not worried about experience when it comes to Devin, but Javante got experience, and Javante versus Tio, that's a hell of a fight too, man. I remember when they sparred with each other,
you're very excited.
Javante was toying with him, but it's important to note Javante was, I believe, 4 or 5 years older than Tio at the time. Tio was 17 or 16, so it'd be a different fight, but Javante got dynamites. He's fast, so it won't be it's going to be a tough fight for anybody, you know what I'm saying? So they're all 50-50 fights. That's why the new generation is taking over. If you're talking about the sport of boxing, man, it's very exciting to say the least. We got all these athletes like Shakur, Devin, Lopez, Ryan, Javante. These guys, the future, man, and they're going to put boxing on the map again. Because sometimes, with Floyd and Pacquiao, like I said, when they kind of left the game, a lot of people pretty much, that's the names they always heard. So the boxing, that's what tends to happen. When Ali retired, it's a little, I won't call it dead, but it's a little quiet for a little bit till another superstar come along. And Tio, now it's fair to say he is a superstar. So him versus any of the names I mentioned is a pay-per-view fight. So let's see him versus Devin, Javante, and all the above, And at 140, he definitely going to take over. Taylor is a dangerous match, though. I say that. Taylor is a tough fight for anybody at 140, including Tio.
Yeah, and but I'm just worried about like Paul Barum. How is he gonna promote like Teofimo? You know, I don't think he likes Teofimo as much as Lomachenko.
Well, he better get it together. He better to get it. Shit, Tio's is pretty much the face of Top Rank right now. If we're looking at it, I mean, you got look when it comes to fighters, right? Normally, what are you looking like? If I'm a promoter, I'm not talking about a hardcore boxing standpoint. I'm talking about a promoter. If you're a promoter in the game, one thing you should look for in a fighter is a guy like, for example, Tio, that have confidence, that could talk it, that could walk it, that is going to promote the fight. I mean, leading up to this fight, it was so entertaining because Tio was trash talking Loma. I mean, if there wasn't no trash talking coming from Tio, this fight wouldn't have that same amount of buzz. It would have still been a big fight, don't get me wrong, but the fact that Tio was trash talking, it gave it that extra boost. It got that spice into the fight. It had that little spice to it, because of the fact that Tio was talking shit. Floyd Mayweather, they didn't become a big star until he started talking trash, because that's what sell fights. When you trash talk and then you back it up, man, you're gonna have the haters wanting to pay more money in order to see you lose. So with Tio, shit, Bob Arum should be happy right now. I know he upset at his Apple card that he was promoting that the next Muhammad Ali, the second coming of Roy. I mean, Bob was saying all type of ridiculous crap, when it comes to Lomachenko. But now, if you have Tio in your Muhammad Ali, supposedly, you better promote Tio like he the Roy Jones right now, and don't treat him like you treated Floyd, and promote him all around the board. I mean, if I think Bob know what time it is. I don't think he make that mistake with Tio, man. He knows what time it is.
But he messed up so many times in the first, even with Rigo, he didn't really promote him properly.
Yeah, man. I remember that. And you're right. Loma. I remember when Rigo beat his Apple card Donaire, he started treating Rigondeaux like shit. But the difference here, Rigondeaux was on the coincidental list, and Tio, shit, he got dollar signs written all over him, and he could talk English, he could promote himself. And I just don't see him doing Tio dirty. I mean, that's his next superstar. So it's one thing to try to build a superstar, but the superstar is already here. Now Tio is here. This fight was on ESPN, not on pay-per-view. So the benefit of that, the whole world got to see this fight. There was more eyes on this fight. So now if Tio next fight is on pay-per-view, everybody going to tune in, or a lot of people are going to try to tune in, because now he made everybody a believer, because a lot of people thought he was talking out of pocket when it came to Lomachenko, but now he made everybody a believer. Now Tio could say whatever he want to say, because you know, respect is earned, not given, and he earned his respect. You know, and my man said Tio is better than Danny Garcia. Man, hell yeah, he's better than Danny Garcia. And Danny's a good fighter, but man, Tio, he's special. He's special, man. But you know, any last thoughts before I move on to the next call?
The speed, the footwork, the angles, the 2 losses, 14-2.
Yeah,
that's all, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Peace, Aki.
Yes. All right. Take care, my man.
Bye-bye.
How you doing, Aki? Who this is and where you calling from?
Yo, Aki, it's your boy Jake. What it do?
What happened to Lomo, man? Lomo, man. What happened?
I have some bad news. I got some bad news, Aki.
What's that?
Bad news, bro.
What's that? You lost a lot
of money. Everybody about to flip about what I'm about to say, man.
You lost.
I need everybody and go back and watch the fight. I need everybody to go back and watch the fight.
Shay.
Yep.
It sound like you.
Yep.
It sound like you put your house on it, man. Don't tell me you lost your house on this, man. Don't tell me you lost your house on this, man. I told you, man. Lomachenko overhyped, man.
Oh man, no, I didn't lose my house, but I was real shocked at the decision, bro. Because the first round I gave to Tio, the second round I gave to Loma, the third round I really, honestly, gave a little bit more to Tio, but he really didn't land anything significant. I gave damn near majority of the fight to Loma because of his work. And then I was like, I went back and I watched the fight because that's why I didn't call in there. I was like, man, I got to go back and watch this fight again. I was like, man, am I tripping? I'm like, does Tio really beat this man? And I went back and I watched it. And I was like, man, this fight should have been a draw. It should have been a draw, man. I see more of a draw and more of Loma kind of edging it out a little bit. Not because of the later rounds, but because of the work he put in from round 6 all the way through the championship rounds. Now, round 12 is debatable. Everybody gave Tio that round.
Debatable?
You know what I mean? I don't want to sound like a...
Debatable, man?
Everybody...
Man, he nearly
I mean,
I
say it's debatable because... like, Tio was like, bro, like, Loma was attacking him at the beginning of round 12. He started attacking Tio, and then Tio started coming back and bouncing back. And
my brother, I'm sorry.
They didn't trash him in the 12.
I'm sorry.
They didn't trash Loma in the 12.
Hey, listen, let me say this. First of all, man, Tio, he bullied him and beat him up in the 12. Man, the referee.
Now he did neutralize.
The referee had to be like, hold on, give him a breather, man. He had to give him a breather and tell him, go to the corner. And, obviously he stopped the fight because of the cut. But, man, Tio, he put it on him from the first bell when it came to the 12th round. He beat him up. Lomachenko wasn't doing shit in the 12th round. I'm sorry, man. But I think
he neutralized.
I told you don't bet your house on it, man.
I'm listening.
I told you don't bet your house on it because I don't know if you lost your voice cheering for Lomachenko, but I don't think that was the case because you had nothing to cheer for. Lomachenko was not letting his hands go. He let a lot of the early rounds, I believe up to like the 7th, the 8th round go because he was not letting his hands go. If you go back and watch the fight, Lomachenko was throwing he was landing 6-7 punches a round. And I mean, you got to remember, you got to throw punches to score. And Lomachenko was backing up, but he was not controlling Lopez. Lopez was the ring general in there. So when you're the ring general, you controlling the fight. I mean, Tio, he had Lomachenko frustrated, and we could see it. We could clearly see it because we never seen Lomachenko fight like this. We never see Lomachenko hesitant and off the back foot. Lomachenko fought off the back foot for 7, 8 rounds. We never see Lomachenko fight off the back foot. I never seen him fight 8 rounds off the back foot. He usually come forward. You could go watch all his fights in the amateurs and even in the pros. He always come forward. That's when he scores. So the fact that for the first 7 rounds he was fighting off the back foot, that lets you know he was uncomfortable and he was getting hit with body shots like you were talking about. You know, Lopez needed to go to the body. That's exactly what he did.
Oh man, he invested. Oh my God, that's what I was saying.
That's what got him to
legitimately
win.
like.
I think he
Yes, thank you. Like that. Thank you. You literally hit it on the dot. I literally believe that Lomachenko out pointed him as far as headshots, but I believe the victory tonight was earned by Teo from definite body shots and dictating the pace. Like honestly, like I straight up, because he was walking down Loma and Loma was moving around using his head movement. He really, every time he got hit, every time Loma got against the ropes, freaking Teo would dig to the body with digging body shots, and Loma would pivot off the back foot again, pivot off the ropes, and with his hands up blocking, and Loma would feint with the jab. So but Teo could not really let.
So how'd you have Loma winning when he was just getting hit and not doing anything?
The only because I was like, it was just the punch volume, and just like who was landing the more effective punches.
But he didn't throw punches for him to have a punch volume. He didn't land punches either. So in order for you to say the punch volume, you got to throw punches. Lomachenko didn't throw no punches for the half of the fight. So that volume go out of the window because first of all, we already know Teo is the harder puncher. So he got more power on his punches. And usually you could see the impact that it was doing to Lomachenko. It slew him down, especially to the body. So when it came to Loma, he started picking up the fight around the 8th round. And I gave him the 8th, 9th, and you could say the 10th, I think. I believe I got to go back and watch the fight, but he won.
You got to give him the 11th as well. He put a beating on Teo on the 11th.
You cannot look. You could be Santa Claus, and you could give Lomachenko 5 rounds max. More than 5 rounds, there's no possible way for you to give Lomachenko more than 5. I mean, there is no way in the world because, like I said, the 12th round, I mean, it was Lopez all the way. The first 7th rounds, it was Lopez all the way. And the rounds Lomachenko turned up, they were like Lopez wasn't just getting beat up. There's rounds that Lomachenko clearly won, but Lopez wasn't really out of there. You know, he was still in the fight. Like he was still doing work in there. So, you know, at the end of the day, I just feel like, you know what I'm saying, you shouldn't bet on fights, man, because you sound like you emotional.
No, I mean, this is the first fight. This is the first fight I lost in a very long time. And I was like, damn, when I heard the decision, that's the first thing I said. I was like, they gave it to Teo. Our generation's in the dough. But
yeah, my AKHi
said, with that being
said, shout out to Blacksmith Ross. Appreciate the super chat, my brother. He said, there are a lot of haters on Lopez with excuses for Loma. Loma lost guys not better than Roy Jones, Mayweather, or Ali. He not the GOAT. He weak, you know. So yeah, I mean, definitely not. He's not either one of them guys, and he's not the best fighter since the Floyd Mayweather era because we had Andre Ward, we got Terrence Crawford, and we got Errol Spence right now. So you know, Teo just beat him. That's just further proof that Lomachenko's
I mean, everybody's calling it.
Let's not make excuses for him because, like I said, at the end of the day, even like okay, for example, did you watch the fight when it ended? Like, did you saw Lomachenko reaction? Did you even see him raise his hand at all after the fight?
Not one bit. Teo did though. Teo was already excited like he won.
What that tell you?
He was confident.
What did I tell you about Loma?
I definitely
because if Loma thought
Loma was it like it was the opposite. It's really weird. It was the opposite because at the beginning of the fight, you see that Teo was the one that looked nervous and Loma was the one warming up. And then at the end of the fight, it was the opposite. So yeah, you're right about that. But I am curious though.
Let me say this.
And by the way,
let me say this. Well, before the fight started, you know, I mean, when you're talking about before the fight, maybe, but during the fight, as soon as the fight started, it was Teo that was not nervous, because Lomachenko was nervous. He was fighting nervous early on, and we know he was fighting nervous because for the first 7 rounds, he didn't let his hands go, and he was fighting off the back foot, and we never saw Lomachenko do that. And again, if you go back and watch every single Lomachenko fight, after every fight, he will always raise his hand. He will raise his hand. As soon as the fight is over, he will raise his hand. He will celebrate in some kind of way. But again, there's only 2 fights he didn't do that. Against Salido, he did not raise his hand. I believe he didn't raise his hand. And against Lopez, he did not raise his hand. If you see Lopez, on the other hand, he knew 1000% he won, because he did. You know what I'm saying? But what else you were saying?
I want to know, since everybody says Lopez is the man of the hour now, which he is, he got 4 belts. Do you guys believe he's ready for Devin Haney?
Well, so hey man, hey hey, why y'all going off on my man like that, man? They said,
hey man, I ain't hating off Tio, man. I ain't hating off Tio.
Hey,
I ain't hating off Tio.
hey,
I congratulate Tio, man. I ain't got nothing against him, man. I ain't got nothing against Tio, man.
They said,
let him enjoy the fruits of his hard work, man.
They say you drunk, crying in your car. Come on, man. Don't violate my man like that. But what should we call it?
Man. Don't worry about them people on the phone lines, man. Don't even worry about them down low, man. They need some entertainment, man.
Yeah,
probably touching themselves.
Well, when it came to, what was your question? You said, is he ready for Devin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't no secret. Devin Haney's the boogeyman, the A-class boogeyman. I mean, he beat Lomachenko before Lopez did. If you ask me how, Lomachenko gave up his belt. If Lomachenko had any confidence in himself, claiming that Floyd Mayweather is his dream fight, he would have fought Floyd Mayweather prodigy. That fight like Floyd, Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? We already know that. So as far as I know, Devin Haney already got a Lomachenko body on his record. Now, if Lomachenko wants to fight Devin Haney down the line, that's up to him. But when it comes to Lopez,
I think that would be a bad idea.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I would like to see, me personally, I would like to see, like,
that's a good idea. I still want to see Lomachenko versus Gervonta, versus Devin Haney versus Shakur. He could still mix it up with these guys. You know what I mean? It's at the end of the day, that's what the sport is all about. There's a winner and a loser. So I think he should have been. He shouldn't have been a sore loser by saying, "Oh, I thought I won," without requesting a rematch. I didn't like that by Lomachenko. That's not how you behave like a champion, and you got to show sportsmanship. You got to act like the bigger man. But at the end of the day, as far as your question, I think Lopez is not going to fight Devin Haney next. I mean, he's the boogeyman for a reason, but I think he will fight Devin Haney down the line. So I'm not really that concerned, because they both young and they both is going to campaign at 140 around the same time. So they're going to have to clash eventually. So I think it's just a matter of time. I don't think it's a matter of if, but I think it's a matter of when the fight is going to happen. But I just think like let's not forget, Tio, at the end of the day, I'm not going to criticize Lopez for going the direction that he went, which is he went the direction to fight Comey and then Lomachenko, and he became unified champion. So I can't criticize him for that, because from a business sense, that is the right way to go and operate, because Lomachenko is the one they hyping him out to be as this pound for pound fighter, so on and so forth. So he went the right route, business level and legacy level, because Lomachenko, you better all fight Lomachenko now before Devin Haney, because Lomachenko is not going to be here for the next 10 years. Devin Haney will. But at the end of the day, we can't ignore the fact that Devin Haney and Lopez was in the same tournament, and Lopez chose to go that direction. Now, I understand why he went that route, because it's a better plan. So I'm not going to criticize him for it, but that don't take away no credit from Devin, because Devin is the boogeyman. That's why nobody wanted to fight him, because they know he have the potential to be the Kobe in the sport of boxing. But the great thing about this whole Lopez and Devin Haney saga is that they are going to fight eventually. Lopez won it later to build up the fight. Devin Haney won it now and later. So I mean, it ain't just Tio though. I mean, everybody in the game got Devin Haney last on their wish list for good reasons. You know what I'm saying? But I got a super chat from one of my AKHis. Damn, Loma is the overhyped chump. Lopez is the real NEO, the one. Well, listen, my brother, he definitely put on a hell of a performance. I got another super chat. My man Ross.
I did. Me personally, don't get it twisted. I enjoyed the hell out of this shit.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the hell out of tonight. Tonight was a great night of boxing.
It was a hell of a night.
Great night of boxing. And just to let y'all know, Barbosa did not win tonight. He did not win.
Man, hey, you been drinking too much, my brother. You know, drinking is haram, man. You better get that liquor off, man. I don't know what you're watching.
Hey, man, my boy just called on it.
Come on, man. You've been drinking a lot, my brother. Hey, when you sober up in the morning, rewatch the Lopez fight and the Barbosa because they both won. But let me read the super chat real quick. Lopez is the man who earned it, has all of the belts. Devin has to earn it first. Fight Loma. Bye-bye, white Jesus. Please, no more excuses for Loma. So as far as, Devin need to earn his shot. Like Roy Jones said, man, listen, if you're a champion and as far as if you don't want every other title, then you don't feel like you're the best. So I just feel like Devin feel like he the best. You want all the other titles. And we can't use the experience thing because the experience thing is an excuse because Lopez didn't have no experience on his side. I mean, he only had 15 fights at 23 years old. And what happened? He pulled off the victory. But that just sounds like an excuse. But they will fight, that's for sure. And as far as that, Loma, man, you already know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I said, he a good fighter.
Man, I feel bad for Loma, low key. I feel bad for. I feel bad what's gonna happen to his career from here, though.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Lomachenko.
Because they're gonna start treating him like Gamboa. They're gonna start treating my boy like Gamboa.
Nah, man. He got that hope insurance in his pocket, man. You must not know. They try to erase his loss. You think they're gonna not? I mean, shit. They still gonna try to, still kind of make it seem like, he's still the man. Remember, Gennady Golovkin got exposed. I mean, his biggest supporter, Jim Lampley. Jim Lampley said if he don't beat Canelo, he is a hype job. He overrated. His career is a failure. That's his biggest supporter. Max Kellerman hopped off the train. The man used to say, Gennady Golovkin, he this destructural force. He the best. He pound for pound, all that. As soon as he got beat up by Devyachenko, he hopped off the train and hyped on. He hopped on the Lomachenko hype train. But now he off the Lomachenko hype train. Or I don't know if he is or not, but he said Lomachenko is better than Duran. He the best since Muhammad. He the best since Ali.
Yeah, I don't.
So hold on.
I don't know about that.
Lotto Soja, do you think Tio could beat Rigrius? I mean, that's a good fight, but man, look, I can't go against Tio right now, especially not against Rigrius. I think Tio, if somebody could beat Tio, it will possibly be a Taylor at 140. That'd be a 50-50 fight. I don't know. I mean, that's a
good fight.
That's a
really good fight.
But, I mean, Tio, he gonna be the favorite against nearly everybody he fight from now on after this tremendous victory. So I think he beats Rigrius as well.
Except my boy Javante.
Yeah, that's a 50-50 fight, and I hope that fight get made because Lopez is planning to move up in weight. And Javante, I don't know if this is directly toward Tio, but he put on Twitter and he posted dollar signs. Now I don't know what that means. Like he posted dollar signs, so I'm assuming he means dollar signs when he sees the fight between him and Tio because that's a mega fight. Now the only way that fight could happen is if Javante is successful against my man Leo Santa Cruz, which he favored to. I think that fight gonna be ugly. Not in a good way. I think Javante,
my boy Javante is going to flush him. He's going to drop him.
Yeah, it's going to be a good fight, but I think Javante going to put on a show. That will set up a mega fight between him and Tio because they could fight next. You know what I'm saying? At 135. However, he's looking to fight Ryan as well. But the timing of it, I don't know. Why would you throw the dollar signs right now? We ain't talking about Ryan right now, so he have to be talking about Tio. I know he was looking to fight Ryan, and he talked about it. He said I could possibly fight Lomachenko versus Tio winner, or Ryan Garcia, either or. So Ryan Garcia, I think it's too early, even if he beat Campbell, because remember, Ryan doesn't even have a title right now. It's a big fight, but they fighting for nothing. There's nothing on the line. Tio got all the titles and Devin Haney. So it'd be wise for Gervonta to fight Tio now, because if he don't fight Tio at 135, he will never fight Tio, because Gervonta too short. He's too short to go to 140. I'm sorry. He hit hard. He got all the talent in the world, but he too short to go to 140. I think that 140 division is too big for him. So Gervonta versus Tio, we saw him spar in the past. Gervonta was taking it easy on Tio, but it's important to point out that Tio was a very young. He was a youngin. He was like 5 years or 4 years younger than Gervonta. So obviously that's why Gervonta was taking it easy on Tio. Meanwhile, Tio was working on his boxing skill. We didn't even know Tio had power then. He didn't look like he had no power. He was just working on his skill. Meanwhile, Gervonta was cruising. But again, the age gap was so, it was so huge that Gervonta was supposed to get the better of Tio in that sparring. But right now is a 50-50 fight. What's your take on Gervonta versus Tio right now?
That's a great question, Aki. I honestly believe that Gervonta versus Tio right now at 135 would be an amazing fight. Two young guys in their primes. Incredible fight. Two power punchers, two speedy, fast, technical. Incredible fighters. One trained by Floyd Mayweather, one trained by his father. I honestly, me personally, I do believe that fight would be a pay-per-view fight. I believe they would broadcast that fight on Showtime on pay-per-view. I deeply believe that fight would be hosted at Madison Square Garden or the Staples Center, or the MGM Grand, of course. And if that fight was to be made, it would definitely be a 50-50 fight for me, but I would lean more towards my boy Gervonta pulling it off against Tio in a unification fight like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a fight, that's for sure. Definitely on pay-per-view. So I think, like somebody in the chat said, Ryan got a hell of a fan base, but yeah, he got a big fan base, but he don't have that like I said, he need that significant win. Campbell could be that, but still that fight is not bigger than Tio right now. I think Tio versus Gervonta is bigger, and timing is everything. So I think Gervonta should fight Tio before Ryan, if I'm being honest. Why not?
I agree.
And Tio, he want to move up to 140. He said he's going to move up to 140 after this fight. But I think for Gervonta fight, why not? He knows that's a big fight. He knows that he will make more money fighting Gervonta than he made versus Loma. Plus, with the Loma victory, now it ain't no longer Gervonta is the A side, even though he the money man. Now it's a 50-50 split because Tio has 3 of the main straps. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, any last comments before I end the show? What's your last take?
My last take is thank you for letting me call into the show again, my brother. I really do appreciate you always having me on the venue. I love it so much, man. To all the DCAS down there, y'all can kiss my black hairy ass, even though I was wrong tonight. Y'all enjoy your cup of tea. Enjoy your little glass of champagne. Enjoy this W.
I know you enjoyed yours.
At the end of the day, we still got.
I know you enjoyed yours.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely, man. And we got, and the best is yet to come, y'all. The best is yet to come, man. Y'all tune into my boy's show every. Wait, Aki, are you doing Thursdays and Fridays now?
Well,
because sometimes
tomorrow,
you do various days.
Well, because I did a show tonight. And today's already Monday. Excuse me, Sunday. I got my days mixed up, but I will go live Monday. I will go live Monday and then next Thursday. So yeah, appreciate you, my brother, and I definitely talk to you next time.
You guys tune in, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Y'all show my boy some love. The channel is lit. It's hot. Everybody in the chat, salute. Much love to you guys. Have a great night. And y'all listen to the realest of the real. We ain't letting nothing go. All love, AKHi.
All love, brother. Good night. That being stated, man. Oh man, my Ross out here. He blessing me tonight. I appreciate it, Ross, my man. Remember, guys, Lopez will be stronger at 135. He lost gas because of 130 weight. He should clear out the division of 135 like Roy Jones did and fight the best. So I kind of got confused, my brother, when you said Lopez will be stronger at 135, because I don't know if you're talking about Gervonta. He lost gas because of the 130 weight. I think you're talking about. I'm getting confused because Lopez never fought at 130. But if you're talking about Gervonta, he didn't make the weight versus Gamboa. And we already know he moved up 5 pounds when he fought Gamboa. The first time he fought at 135 and he didn't make the weight. So that was not a good look on his behalf. That version of Gervonta doesn't beat this version of Teo. But a dedicated Gervonta, the one that's fighting Cruz. I think this version right here will be a 50-50 fight because Gervonta against Cruz, he's not taking it easy. He want to put on a show on his first pay-per-view fight. So he don't want it to be lackluster. So that being said, that will prepare his body, and him mentally for a tough fight against Teo. Because against Cruz is going to get ugly, but against Teo is going to get real. So that being said, I appreciate you, my brother. By the way, Crawford, he fighting Kell Brook. It's official. We're going to talk about it definitely on Split Decision episode 63, I believe, on Monday. So join me. That being stated, let me go ahead and end the show. Subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumber by the second, don't. And listen to these decaps, the dumb, casual-ass fans that don't know shit about boxing. Word to Rocky.
You don't know shit about boxing.
May he rest in peace, inshallah, to all you decaps. Where you guys at? You guys still missing
to this day.
In the comment section, all we hear is this. When it's live, you guys disappear. When the truth is spoken, the other side is nothing but a lie. And you decafs, you Lomachenko fanboys that were believing in the hype, now you guys know what I've been preaching from day one is 1000% truth. What I do on Split Decision and Boxing Hood is talk about the truth and nothing but the truth, the absolute whole truth. If it ain't 100% of the truth, if it's just 50%, then the other 50% is a lie. That's not how AKHi operate. I tell the truth and nothing but the truth. So if you can't accept the truth, then the truth is not for you. But the decafs, they love the truth. They hate it because it hurt their feelings, but it's clear as day, they cannot hide from the truth. The truth don't even gotta find a decaf. A decaf will come through and find the truth. That's why all the decafs are here tonight. I see we supposed to have 500 likes right now. With all the people that's tuning in right now, we're supposed to have 500 likes. So click on that like button. I appreciate all of my AKHis. You guys know what time it is. All my day ones, OG Swag, and all the people in the comment section. RJ, I appreciate every single one of you guys, from Davis, so on and so forth. And to be continued on the next episode of AKHi, TV. Peace, and we out here.
gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Hold it, hold it, you're not that pretty. Come on, man. Wait. I took up the wall. I took up the wall. I took up the wall.
I bear witness, there's only one God, Allah, and Muhammad is his final messenger. That's what I said, Larry, on the bungle fight. Thanking you.
They call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans, anybody can get it.